When we talk about physics, we have to talk about Isaac Newton. He was a pretty chill guy with some pretty chill theories.
You all know the famous Apple logo. You guys all have one in your pocket, except for you, Desmond.
Did you know that the logo is based on an age-old story of an apple falling on Isaac Newton's head? Well, this got him thinking about a few things, so let's get started.
Oh no, why did I stop?
Good question. Newton's first law states that an object in motion will stay in motion and an object at rest will stay at rest unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. This is due to inertia, the resistance an object has to its change in state of motion.
Wait, so when I jump, why don't I fly into space?
Well, that's because there's an unbalanced force acting on you right now. It's called gravity. That brings us to Newton's second law.
Now, let's introduce some other formulas and make this board less white than the Oscars. Newton's second law is simply that force equals mass times acceleration. Remember that unbalanced force we talked about? Well, when this occurs, that means that the net force is greater than 0. The net force is found by combining all the forces acting in a situation, such as if the force upwards is 500 newtons and the force downward is 300 newtons, then that means that the net force is 200 newtons up. One big misconception surrounding net force is that when the net force is 0, that means that an object is not moving. Now, this is not true. Instead, it means that when an object's net force is 0, it means that it's not accelerating. Now, a force is a push or a pull. So, if you are able to push an object weighing 100 kilograms at an acceleration of 5 meters per second every second without friction, you would be applying 500 newtons of force. When an object has a greater mass, to produce the same acceleration, you must apply a greater force.
You may be wondering why the ball bounced off of Jack's head. This is because of Newton's third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Upon contact, the ball applies a force onto Jack's head, and in return, Jack's head applies an equal amount of force in the opposite direction on the ball. When an average person stands on the earth, they apply 700 newtons of force downwards because of gravity. And the reason why they don't keep moving down is because the earth applies 700 newtons back up onto the person.
If Jack weighs 300 pounds, approximately 136 newtons, how much force does Rory have to apply to him in order to pick him up so that she can carry him to the hospital? Remember that the acceleration due to gravity is 10 meters per second every second.
Correct. The answer is 1,360 newtons. Why is a rocket able to move in space without anything to push off of?
Correct, because according to Newton's third law, when the rockets fire their engines, there's an equal reaction in the opposite direction. Oh my god!
Wait, what time is it, guys?
Oh my god.